Welcome to the 6th episode of the first series on colonial American families. You might note that this series grew out of 4 seasons of videos on early Appalachian and Southern family names. For my friends who've been with me for a while, I want you to know that I have not abandoned the South. I will continue to cover requests for the region. The only difference in this series is that I will also include colonial families from Mid-Atlantic and Northeastern colonies. If you'd like a list of the names that I've already covered here on the Vantage Point, please stick around to the end to find out how you can get a copy of that list. It's just an email away. I hope you'll join me. Number 1, Northcutt or Northcutt. This Cornish family name is dear to the heart of a geographer. As you probably know, geographers like myself ask where and why questions. In the case of Northcutt, it was given to a family that lived in a cottage to the north of a local village. In addition to the Celtic region of Cornwall, we can say with confidence that this surname also made an early appearance in nearby Devonshire before it spread to other parts of jolly old England. It doesn't appear among the traditional families of Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. It seems that the current and arguably most common spelling form in Britain is Northcott, C-O-T-T at the end. Looking on the western shores of the Atlantic, I found some information on William Northcutt, who was born in Chowan County, North Carolina in 1745 to unknown parents. Of course, they knew each other, especially in a biblical sense. He and his wife Sarah Williams had 3 sons. I also found data on John Northcutt. He was born in Amelia County, Virginia in 1757. He was a patriot. He served in the 7th Regiment in the American Revolutionary War. At the end of the day, Northcutt is a colonial American family of southwestern English origin. Northcott is the most common spelling in England. Number 2, Stucky. Wow, when I saw the request for Stucky, my mind went straight to the new and developing interstate system in the 1960s. Many of the exits on I-75, for instance, featured lots of Stucky stores attached to gas stations. They were something of a convenience store that promoted candy like pecan logs, simple cafeterias, and a gas lane. Do you remember them? In terms of the name's origin, I found that it could be from Devonshire, England, where it meant tree stump enclosure. I don't know what that would be. Or it could be an Americanized form of the Swiss-German Alsatian name Stucky, S-T-U-C-K-I. A cursory look at the abundance of Stucky genealogical records in England and Australia led me to lean towards an English origin. One of the earliest lines of Stucky that I could find in colonial America was started by Simon Stucky, who was born on the Isle of Wight, or I should say born in the Isle of Wight. That's a county in Virginia, not on the Isle of Wight. That's an island south of England. And he was born there in 1675. The name of his wife isn't documented, but they had a son named Edmund who became a senior eventually. Now, Edmund Jr. married Elizabeth Richards. They had at least one son named Edmund Jr. Haha, that's handy. Although he was born in York County, Virginia, he relocated to Sumter County, South Carolina. Jr. was married twice, first to Edith Howell and then Rebecca Allen. He and his brides produced at least 14 youngins. Now, I'm not 100% certain that Simon Stucky was of English stock, but given the date and location of his birth, I'd bet money on it. This notion is further reinforced by the largest cluster of Y chromosomes that I could find among Stucky men. Number 3, McBrier, or McBrier. These iterations are forms of the Scottish Gaelic name. The earliest records of these names that I could find point to Dumfriesshire, Scotland as a place of origin. It meant the son of the brother. Now, in this instance, we're not talking about a sibling. Rather, we're talking about a person who is identified as a member of the clergy, a monk or a friar. Now, while not obvious to most people, it points to the fact that on the frontier of Catholic Europe, before the Reformation, which Scotland was certainly a part of, clerical folk were not always celibate. Depending on your ancestral line, either of these spelling forms could be considered Scots-Irish. I found records of quite a few people with those names in Northern Ireland and Australia. On the western shores of the Atlantic, one of the earliest lines of the family that I found began with David McBrier. David was born in County Down, Ireland in 1699. He relocated to Pennsylvania where he met and married Elizabeth Campbell. Campbell, of course, is about as Scottish of a name as one could find. I'm confident that McBrier is a colonial American family of Scottish or Scots-Irish ancestry. Number 4, Havner. Hafner, Hefner, Hefner. This Americanized surname is derived from the German Havner, which was an occupational name given to a pottery maker. At least one online source, though, claims that Havner is an Anglo-Saxon name, but I found no proof for that claim. However, I did identify two distinct, albeit German lines of the family. One entered the colonies in Pennsylvania, and the other settled in North Carolina. Their descendants, of course, spread westward and northward and not eastward, because that would have been back across the Atlantic. George Havner was born in Germany in 1732. He settled in Pennsylvania, as did many other Germans, where he and his wife, Rachel Polston, had at least 3 young'uns. Looking southward, Johann Dietrich Havner was born around 1723 in Heidelberg, Germany. At some point, he settled in Lincoln County, North Carolina. He and his wife, Elizabeth, don't know her last name, had at least 4 sons who were born in Pennsylvania or North Carolina between 1740 and 1755. I'm confident that these seemingly distinct names are iterations of the German name Havner. They're not Anglo-Saxon, but they are colonial American families. Well, folks, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you got something out of the show, and if you'd like a free catalog of the surnames that we've covered so far for all seasons, write to me at vantagepoint22@gmail.com and I'll send it to you as an attachment. If demand warrants, I'll return with another episode in a few days. In the meantime, God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.